In June of 2012, a remarkable snow scientist passed away. At the International Snow Science Workshop in September of 2012, I gave a short talk sharing some memories of Cora. This is an online version of that talk. Before coming to Calgary, Cora was an active mountaineer and active with a variety of mountain groups. Here you see a photo of her starting an early morning trip on a glacier, and here you see her in a cave. She was active with the San Bernardino Cave Rescue Group. After coming to Calgary, she joined and was active with the Calgary Cave Rescue Group. Here you see her training above ground with the Calgary Cave Rescue Group. In 2 of her summers in Calgary, Cora took some time off to teach leadership skills to young women. These were based around kayak trips off the coast of Seattle and Bellingham. While she was in Calgary, Cora was organizing many outdoor trips. I had the pleasure of going rock climbing and scrambling and kayaking and canoeing on various of these trips. This was a canoeing trip on the Elbow River, and you can see Cora's really good friend Cindy here, my wife over here on the side. And so there were a lot of these good trips, and Cora was the organizer for many of these. To look at Cora's last 2 years in Calgary, you have to, Max figures very strongly. Here you see Max, Bernese mountain dog, and he was the cutest thing on 4 legs. He loved the snow, and if you see some of Cora's presentations, he is credited as the field assistant for some of Cora's presentations about her snow studies. Bernese mountain dogs are not known to be water dogs, but the bond between Cora and Max was really close. And here you see Cora taking Max on a little bit of a introduction to kayaking, with Max sitting on the back of her kayak. And there's a video of this along with some others video on the Cora Shea Facebook page, and there's some really wonderful memories of Cora being shared on Facebook. In this particular trip, Max is helping Cora haul some really heavy weather station equipment, including an RV battery, up to tree line in the Rocky Mountains so she could set up a weather station. This is Cora, the meticulous field researcher. She's finished her observations for the day, but before putting her skis on, she's checking the field book, checking that there are no blanks, checking that everything is complete and comprehensive. Cora was also meticulous in the snow pit and developed some techniques. So here she is looking at crystals on the screen, but one of the interesting ideas she had was taking a specimen of the crystals from the pit wall, spreading them out on the screen, putting the screen on a patch of snow and photographing it, moving the crystals around, taking another photograph, moving the crystals around, taking another photograph. And she became very proficient at that. And for the last 2 years, you can go through her records and find the photographs of the crystals for every layer in every snowpat that she did. And she became so confident in this technique that she would classify the crystals based on the photographs after she got back home and not classify them in the field. And there's a fun little poster on the ASARC website that describes her techniques for doing this. In the first couple of years of Cora's PhD, she was studying surface hoar, and we've always been puzzled by why surface hoar is bigger one place than in another. Cora did a bunch of meticulous measurements to show that surface hoar was smaller next to the trees, and the bigger the opening, that is, the bigger the sky view, the bigger surface hoar would grow. And she actually used Google Earth as part of this research to show that the bigger surface hoar was actually in the middle of the bigger openings. In the last couple of years, she became very busy with a thermal camera and did some landmark work on using thermal cameras, both for thermal cameras for imaging the snow surface and its temperatures, as well as the pit wall. So this is Cora here, about 70 centimeters back from the pit wall, and at this scale with the thermal camera, you can see each pixel in the camera is about 1 grain, so we're finally seeing temperatures at about the grain scale. This is an example of a thermal image, and here you see it's warm down below, cool on the top, and it's curiously warm around this melt freeze crust in the middle of the photographs. And Cora developed some pioneering techniques for analyzing these thermal images. Cora developed 2 online websites. This one is GSwarm, where you can see some terrain. You input the cloud cover expected for the day, the number of days since fresh snowfall, and then you can see the expected warming down 10 centimeters, and you can zoom in for a particular route that you're thinking of doing that day and see how much warming is expected on the slopes that you're going to travel on and overhead, the slopes up over your head that might be affected by warming on that particular day. And this is available for selected areas in Western Canada. In 2009, about a year and a half after starting with ASARC, Cora represented ASARC at the International Glaciological Society Symposium in Manali in northern India. She traveled there and trekked with Laura Bakermans, also of ASARC. So this is Cora, Laura, and Martin Schneebly here. After the conference, Laura and Cora went on a trek. During the trek, they saw a patch of snow, and Cora was off there right away to slide down the patch of snow. This is another website that Cora developed. This one is called ARFI, the Avalanche Research Forecasting Interface. It was developed with some inspiring chats with the Canadian Avalanche Centre forecasters. So it shows, as Google Maps layers, it shows snow pillows, weather station, webcams, as well as G-swarm areas. And you can overlay on top of that the forecast areas and the current avalanche danger by different elevation bands. And you can also click on any one of these and you will see either the forecast precipitation, the forecast temperatures, or the forecast winds over the particular area. And then you can zoom in and see that for the particular area that you're going to be traveling in or forecasting for that particular day. This summer I was talking to one of the Canadian Avalanche Centre forecasters, and he mentioned that after 2 winters of using ARFI for about 2 hours per day, he was still finding new features that Cora had built into ARFI. So it's really remarkable, and this is going to continue and is still available and used heavily by a variety of independent guides, recreationists, and the Canadian Avalanche Centre forecasters. Cora was an amazing explainer. She developed this remarkable poster of the changes in temperatures as well as the changes in the grains. Here you see the grains, here you see a thermal image, and she developed videos. Matter of fact, ASARC's videos, which is a good part of her reputation now, they were Cora's ideas. We were going to a mountain shop in downtown Calgary to do some presentations. Cora took along a video camera, pointed at the presenter, and that was how ASARC got started at presentations, at videoing presentations. For thermal imaging, one of the hard to explain concepts is emissivity. And this slide here is really one of my favorites of Cora. It's an amazing explanation of emissivity. So here we see a black anodized fry pan which has high emissivity. That is, most of what the thermal camera sees is the actual temperature. About 85% is the actual temperature, and only about 15% is the reflected temperature. And that is emitted here and reflected in the stainless steel coffee pot over through here, which you see mostly the reflected temperatures, and not much, only about 8%, is the actual temperature. So here we have high emissivity, low emissivity, and high reflectivity. Fortunately for snow, the emissivity is really high, about 95 to 95%, so most of what the thermal camera sees is the actual temperature. Here you see Cora, the explainer here. She's at Avalanche Awareness Days in the Fernie ski area and explaining the snowpack and snow profiles and snowpack tests to a bunch of skiers and riders who stopped by to hear her talk. In September 2011, Cora finished her PhD in geophysics at the University of Calgary. She got a full-time job with Fidgets and used some of their technology for small computers, remote sensors to develop a weather station. Here you see the weather station here, a shortwave sensor here, a webcam here, various sensors in this shield here, and she was developing this weather station. And this is what you saw in a previous image of her and Max hauling up to tree line in the Rockies. And one of my favorite pictures of Cora. Cora's out cross-country skiing here, and this amazing, amazing smile. So I was fortunate to work with Cora on her various research projects, and so fortunate that she chose the University of Calgary and the ASARC program to come and do her PhD studies.